As we all know, Australia is a very popular destination for immigrants. But why do so many people choose to move here? Is it just the beautiful scenery? Or are there other perks that make Australia so appealing? Many people even ask, why do Australians seem so chilled? Is the welfare system really that generous, making a comfy life for Aussies? Let's explore some of these benefits in detail. Let's look at some numbers. The total population of Australia has exceeded 27 million. In 2023, Australia's population increased by 624,100 people. By 2032, it's expected to reach between 29.2 and 30.8 million. Up until June 2023, Australia had a net increase of 518,000 immigrants, with 737,200 people arriving in Australia. Clearly, there's something very attractive about this country. Why are so many people eager to get Australian PR or Australian citizenship? What is so good about Australia that it can attract so many new immigrants every year? Many people talk about Australia's pension benefits being very good, but what's real and what's just a myth? In addition to pension benefits, what other social benefits can we enjoy after becoming Australian PR? Let's explore some of these benefits in detail. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Invest with Alison, sharing some stories about Australian life, financial management, and real estate investment. I'm an Australian lawyer and accountant and a licensed real estate agent across different states in Australia. I have published a book called Investing in Australian Properties, Building Financial Freedom. The following content is personal opinion only and does not constitute any investment advice. The first major benefit is maternity support. Australia provides up to 18 weeks of wage subsidy for families with newborns, currently set at $882.75 per week before tax. There's also a companion allowance for fathers, offering up to 2 weeks of support. This means a family can receive up to 20 weeks of wage subsidy in total. In addition, there are newborn welfare subsidies, childcare subsidies, and childcare subsidy benefits. Newborn welfare subsidies include the newborn advance allowance and the newborn benefit. The prepayment allowance is a one-time AUD 641 per child, and the subsidy is available for 13 weeks at a time. For first-time newborns, the maximum subsidy available is $1,124.65 Australian dollars. For subsequent babies, you can get $642.46 Australian dollars. Families with single parents and children can receive additional subsidies issued every 2 weeks. For children under 5 years old, the highest subsidy is $181.44 Australian dollars, and for children aged 5 to 18 years, it is $126.56 Australian dollars. Childcare subsidy is a subsidy provided by the Australian government to low-income families to take care of children. It is suitable for single parents taking care of children under 8 years old, or both parents jointly taking care of a child aged 6 or under. Single-parent families can receive up to $970.2 Australian dollars bi-weekly, while two-parent families can receive 686 Australian dollars. Separated families can receive 802.5 Australian dollars, and two-parent families can also receive a subsidy of at least 14,000 Australian dollars a year. The childcare subsidy can reimburse up to 90% of childcare costs. To sum up, there are 3 key maternity welfare subsidies. They are newborn benefits, include advance allowances and grants up to $1,124.65 Australian dollars. Childcare subsidy for low-income families can provide up to $970.2 Australian dollars every 2 weeks. And childcare subsidies which can reimburse up to 90% of childcare expenses. Next up is education. Australia offers free public school education for 12 years to all citizens, permanent residents, and even new immigrants on temporary visas. Australia also provides bursaries, or study, to full-time students over the age of 25, or tuition fee support for full-time apprenticeships. Depending on the situation, applicants can receive a maximum subsidy of $806 Australian dollars every 2 weeks. All Australian teenagers aged 16 to 24, Australian citizens or permanent residence holders, can apply for youth allowance of up to $806 per 2 weeks after meeting the conditions. If the applicant needs to leave home or relocate for higher education studies, they can receive a relocation scholarship of $5,285 Australian dollars in the first year, $2,693 Australian dollars in the second year, and $1,345 Australian dollars per year thereafter. Let's summarize the key educational benefits, including free public education is available to Australian citizens, permanent residence holders, and new immigrants on temporary residence visas. Youth allowance is available to young people aged 16-24, including student relocation costs and austerity bursaries, which are aimed at Australian full-time students or apprentices over the age of 25. The third perk is about the medical benefits. Australia has free medical care through Medicare, the Australian National Health Insurance Plan. Residents with a Medicare card can enjoy most free medical services, including public hospital treatment and government-funded visits to a family doctor. However, it should be noted that not all services are entirely free. Having Australian PR can save at least half or more on medical expenses. Australia's pharmaceutical benefits scheme provides significant subsidies for drugs to treat a variety of diseases. For example, the anti-cancer drug Keytruda, originally priced at 156,000 Australian dollars, but costs only 31.6 Australian dollars per dose in Australia. PBS greatly reduces the price of many expensive drugs. Additionally, the National Immunisation Program offers free vaccinations for eligible infants, young children, teenagers, and the elderly. Fourthly, housing is also a key area of support. Australian PR or citizen can enjoy the home ownership and housing benefit. The first one is the First Home Buyer Subsidy. This is a one-time subsidy provided by the Australian government to first-time home buyers for the purchase of existing homes that have never been occupied or for building a brand new home. For example, Queensland government subsidies can be up to 30,000 Australian dollars. The second housing benefit is the stamp duty reduction policy. Australian states have different stamp duty reduction policies for first-time home buyers. The third is the rental subsidy. The Australian government also provides rental subsidies to low-income single people, disabled individuals, and families with children. The amount is related to the total household income and rent. The Australian government also provides residence allowance to the PR or citizen. This type of subsidy is usually given to people who need to rent a house in Australia and includes rent, electricity bills, and transportation expenses. These measures reflect the Australian government's commitment to supporting residential housing needs and economic development. The First Home Buyer Subsidy and Stamp Duty Reduction Policy encourage young people and new home buyers to take the first step towards home ownership, reducing the cost of buying a property. Rent assistance and housing assistance provide financial support to low-income people, helping improve their living conditions. Please do not underestimate the First Home Buyer Subsidy and Stamp Duty Reduction Policy. For example, I recently helped a client buy a $700,000 house in Werribee. Initially, this customer asked us to provide buyer's agent services. I was thinking of helping him buy a second-hand property in Werribee. But after learning about his situation, I found out they only had $160,000 cash on hand. If they wanted to buy a second-hand house worth $700,000, their stamp duty would be 24,613 Australian dollars. However, if they bought a house and land package where the value of the land was just 360,000 Australian dollars, they wouldn't need to pay any stamp duty, saving about 24,000 Australian dollars. Additionally, since it was their first new building, they could get an additional 10,000 Australian dollars from the government. Thus, with just 160,000 Australian dollars, they were able to purchase the house easily. As we all know, the Australian government spends nearly one-third of its budget every year on social benefits. Pensions provide income support and a range of concessions for the elderly in Australia. The amount of this subsidy can even be higher than the salary of some normal jobs. As long as you meet the retirement age and have lived in Australia for more than 10 years, including at least 5 years continuously, you can enjoy the pension paid by the government every 2 weeks. You can receive up to $1,096.70 every 2 weeks, and couples can receive a maximum of $1,653.4 every 2 weeks. In Australia, those who have reached retirement age can hold a health card, which provides reductions and exemptions on medical and living service fees. The Australian government's pension and welfare system provides stable financial support for the elderly, allowing them to enjoy their retirement years. These subsidies are relatively high and can offer more financial security than some jobs. In addition to these benefits, Australia also provides other benefits such as employment benefits, job seekers allowance benefits, public transportation subsidy benefits, unemployment benefits, tax benefits for families, etc. Compared to other countries, these comprehensive social welfare networks have some advantages, especially the generous pension benefit system of the Australian government, which can provide a secure later life for those who qualify. If you find this video useful, please give it a thumbs up, like and share it. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights into Australian life. See you next time. Bye.